Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Star Control 2, the Ur-Quan Masters. Let's head back to the Starbase Commander.
Yes, Captain?
And let's see, before proceeding, I need some additional background information.
Certainly, Captain. What do you need to know?
Would you elaborate on your facilities here at the Starbase?
We can modify your precursor ship, build additional combat vessels, and supply you with fuel and crew.
Sweet. What can you do to enhance and modify the Dragonia?
Our engineers and precursor specialists agree with the scientists from your world that your starship was designed to be a workhorse vehicle, which can be easily reconfigured for different missions by adding or swapping self-contained equipment packs, which we call modules. The modules we can build right now are thruster units, which make your ship move faster, attitude jets, which allow you to rotate the ship more quickly, crew pods, which provide life support facilities for up to 50 additional crew members, storage bays, which increase your ship's cargo capacity for mineral resources, fuel tanks, which hold an additional 50 units of fuel,
and
dynamos, which feed energy into your combat energy batteries, improving your weapon's rate of fire. And last but not least, ion bolt guns, combat weaponry,
and
the exact function of which depends on its location.
We want all the things.
When put in the first or front module slot, it fires a single shot forward. When put in the second slot, it fires 2 shots, spread to the left and right of center. When put in the third slot, it fires 2 shots directly, left and right. And when put in the last or rear slot, it fires a single shot straight backwards.
Alright, how will I get fuel for the Dragonia?
This base is designed to service hierarchy ships. Fortunately, your flagship uses the same stabilized antimatter technology as hierarchy vessels and will be able to synthesize what you need. However, due to the size of your ship, we'll have to produce vast quantities of fuel, which will be a substantial drain on our resources.
Sounds bad. How can I assemble a fleet of fighting ships?
Our shipyard facilities are sophisticated and fully automated, permitting a handful of Starbase personnel to do the same job as 500 vac-suited construction workers.
Put all the people out of work.
The designs that we had in our computers were incomplete hierarchy ship designs. Things looked grim until one of the officers came forward with an amazing story. Even though the Ur-Quan destroyed every Earthling Cruiser in the fleet nearly 20 years ago,
except the one that I have,
one of my maintenance engineers was a Starship production assistant at the Detroit Shipyard. When Earth was conquered,
Detroit came back apparently
to destroy all ship construction databases. But she secretly made copies of the blueprint discs and then kept them with her ever since. These discs contain all the data we need to build as many Earthling Cruisers as you want, provided you, Captain, can supply the large amounts of mineral resources required to build those vessels. In theory, Captain, we could build alien starships here if we had designs for them. However, it's a well-known fact that alien vessels just can't be flown in combat without native starship captains at the helm.
Well-known fact? I didn't know that. How will we acquire additional personnel for my ship?
We have almost 2,000 highly motivated, skilled professionals aboard the Starbase, and every single one of them wants a berth aboard your starship. However, each hand we lose to your ship means less manpower here at the Starbase, and this is reflected in the crew RU cost.
Clearly we're going to have to do something about that. As long as you don't
lose too many crew members to combat or planet exploration, the RU cost will remain static. But we have only so many warm bodies on this Starbase.
Well, you guys better get to producing more warm bodies.
The cost could increase dramatically.
Would you please explain your resource allocation system?
As you know, Captain, we've committed the entire output of this station to building your flagship and your battle fleet into the strongest force possible.
Sounds good.
However, our resources are very limited, and we feel you must decide how we are to spend
so much pressure
and materials.
I can't take it.
To aid you in making these decisions, we have implemented a resource allocation scheme. We provide you with a numerical assessment of the station's resources and ascribe a cost to each task we can perform and each device we can build. It's up to you to decide how you're going to spend your resource units, or RU as we call them. To acquire more RU, you must bring resources back to the Starbase. These resources can be either in the form of mineral ores gathered from planet surfaces or already refined metals and other valuable materials from the wreckage of enemy starships.
What kind of resources are most useful to our mission?
The most straightforward way you can accumulate resource units is to bring mineral ores back to this starbase. There are probably enough resources in just the nearby dozen stars to build your ship into a powerful battleship or to create a strong task force of combat vessels.
Yeah, probably not going to do that because I suck at combat.
Build several additional storage bays. When gathering minerals, focus on cleaning out one star system at a time. This way,
It's
you
not a bad
minimize
idea,
the cost
really.
of travel through
It's
hyperspace.
not a good idea to go to crappy star systems, though. What use are our planet landers' sophisticated lifeform analysis features?
While I respect your search for abstract knowledge, frankly, Captain, in our present circumstances, I see little use for such data here.
But I
Perhaps
can
you
get
make
you.
use
Oh,
of
yeah.
biological information elsewhere.
Perhaps we can. You've answered my questions on
What
this
else
topic.
can I tell you?
I would like some historical data.
What aspect of history, Captain?
Well, do you know anything about Akkad and Sumer? You don't, do you? Damn it. I would like to know about other starfaring races.
Which group of aliens?
How about the members of the Old Alliance?
Okay. Which race?
Let's ask about the Shofix. Tell me about the Shofixti.
The Shofixti are a race of intelligent marsupials who had been civilized for only a few decades when the war began.
Really?
They were discovered in the Delta Gorno star system by the Yehat, who adopted and then uplifted the Shofixti, giving them advanced technology and cultural definition. Shofixti are noble and fearless warriors, Captain. In addition, their incredible fecundity and rapid maturation rate kept Alliance ranks solid even at the worst part of
That's
the war.
pretty handy.
You know, I once flew as an
could use
observer
some of
aboard
those.
one of their ships on routine
How did you
patrol.
survive?
We never saw the enemy.
Oh, that's how.
But I could never stop thinking about the glory device it had strapped to the bottom of its hull.
Yeah, the Shofixti ships, they really suck. They're tiny, they're weak, they have short-range weapon that only shoots fire, that forward, that's non-homing, but they can blow up. Yeah, not the best of use. What can you tell me about the Yehat?
The Yehat are a race of
Or
ancient
Yehat.
warrior clans that have been traveling the stars for many centuries. Clans are highly competitive and sometimes even wage war on each other, but the clans are all loyal to the Queen and her royal family, known as the Veepzeeps. The Veepzeeps have been in power for over 2,000 years.
That's
and it is
pretty
said
good.
that during their
That's
rule,
pretty
the
impressive,
Yehat
really.
never lost a battle.
Be nice if I could maintain a kingdom that long in Crusader Kings 2. Although, by eliminating everyone else on the map, it kind of falls that way. What can you tell me about the Heirloom?
I'd like to think I'm not a bigoted person, Captain, especially when it comes to allies, but there's just something about those Arilu that gives me the creeps. One thing I'll say for them, though, they possess some technique for moving really fast through hyperspace. They never let us know what it was, but sure beats the pants off our fastest ships.
Well, I'd definitely like to know more about that eventually. What can you tell me about the Chenjisu?
Genjutsu were leaders of the
Genjutsu.
Alliance, even though they refused to accept formally the title. I don't know if their silicon-based biology is just plain superior to our old carbon models, or if their fantastic intellect were the product of an ancient, peaceful culture. Whatever the reason, I'd rather be taking orders from a Chenjutsu than any other life form, absolutely. One of the more amazing things about them was they never used hyperwave communicators. They could send messages naturally, and their natural hyperwave receptors were much more sensitive than even our best units.
Huh, that's pretty impressive. What can you tell me about the Murnamerm?
We didn't really get much of a chance to learn about those mechanical beings, but I'll tell you what I know.
You're not going to tell me
They're
how
the
to pronounce
product of
it,
a
are you?
distant, unknown culture who sent a giant factory arc into our region of space many centuries ago. The Mother Arc, that's what the Earth Press called it, turned out millions of robots and finally broke down. I don't know why the Murnaherm didn't repair the Mother Arc. Maybe they can't. My personal guess as to why they were sent here is that they're on the leading edge of a colonization project. And once the Murnaherm have tamed enough new worlds, the genuine colonists, whoever they are, will arrive and claim their due.
Interesting. What can you tell me about the Cyrene?
Most raw recruits saw the Siren as nothing more than warm, breathing pinups. Warm they are, and yes, they do breathe most magnificently, but Captain, they are far more than simple joy units. The history shows the Siren established
I'm
and
looking
maintained a
forward to
peaceful
this
culture from
one,
their Bronze
too.
Age through their discovery of starflight. Before their planet was destroyed in a horrible cataclysm, their world was an Eden.
Okay, that is enough about the Alliance for now.
What other group of aliens are you interested in?
What can you tell me about the Battle Thralls in the Hierarchy?
Which species?
The
The
Mycon.
Mycons are hard to get a handle on. In fact, I'm not sure any human has ever had a real conversation with a Mycon. What we know of them, we've learned from their corpses, which, I may add, have a nasty habit of coming back to life when thawed out from a decompression quick freeze.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Mycon ships seem to expend a significant amount of energy
think
on
it ever
life support.
makes a
This is
difference in
probably
the game,
because
though.
the Mycon only thrive in temperatures close to the melting point of lead. As far as we know, the Mycon are the only race to
Warm?
actively seek out the Ur-Quan in order to become combat slaves.
Huh. The Mycon are funguses. So at some point we will have to see what they taste like with butter.
Imagine facing a cowardly, mobile clam armed with a howitzer, and you've got a good idea of what it's like dealing with the
I
Spathy.
love the Spathy.
Although
Who
they tend
doesn't
to
love the
avoid battles
Spathy?
as much as their masters will allow, once in battle, a Spathy eluder is one tough cookie.
Love the Spathy.
I once heard a rumor, though I don't like to believe in it myself, that a rogue band of courageous Spathy broke away from the main Starfleet, painted their ships black with bright red stripes, and formed the Black Spathy Squadron, dedicated to performing brave and hostile deeds.
Yeah, I don't
Like
believe
I
it.
said, I'd have to see it to believe it.
Yeah. What can you tell me about the Umga?
It's unfortunate that the Umga fell to the Ur-Quan so early in the war, because I suspect we would have gotten along well with those big blob creatures. At the very least, it would have been entertaining. We know them a bit better than most races because they were eager to talk with our ships before, after, and during battle. The Arilu
interesting.
intimated that they had a relationship with the Umga before the Ur-Quan arrived, but I don't know any details.
Well, looks like we'll have to ask them if we ever meet them. What can you tell me
When I
about the
was flying
Androseth?
combat missions along the Corward front, there was nothing we feared more than the Androseth hit-and-run
Oh,
squadron.
come on.
Their blazer
Not
ships were
that
more than
hard.
a match for our cruisers, so we stayed clear of Ada Vulpeculae, their home star. In addition, I think each of us aboard the ship knew deep down in our hearts that the Androseth had a damn good reason for hating us. Our grandparents had kept them as slaves for nearly 50 years.
Yeah, the Androsynth are basically cloned humans, so yeah, they didn't take to humanity very well. What can you tell me about the Elroth, the guys we just met, the giant spiders?
I still have nightmares about those spiders taking me prisoner, using me as one of their 6 sacrifices to Dogar and Kazon, their twin gods of destruction and torment. Those guys were almost as scary as the Androsynth to those of us in Deep Space Patrol.
As long as you can
Avenger
stay
ships
away
could
from their
appear
ships,
out of
they're not too
nowhere and
hard.
Melt a cruiser down to slag in seconds. Luckily
is
for
true.
us, the bulk of the Ilrath fleet was thrown against the Chenjesu and the Myrnaherm.
So yeah, I lucked out in my placement in the battle against the Avenger, and that was on like the 4th attempt or something like that. As you can see, I did lose one crew member somewhere along the line. I think on one of the landing missions, and I just lucked out by staying far enough away that I could pelt him with my giant nuclear missiles, because that's what the human cruiser uses. What can you tell me about the Vux?
The Starship Far Voyager under the command of Captain Jeffrey L. Rand encountered the Vux near Beta Mira. Although the details are hazy, it's generally accepted that Rand offended the Vux Starship Commander with an inadvertent insult.
Well, that's enough information about the hierarchy.
What other group of aliens are you interested in?
Were there any alien races who weren't in the war?
None that we've made formal contact with. The Chenjesu implied that they had met 2 other star-faring species, one near the Gickless constellation and the other directly Corward from Procyon. The Arilu Lalile once mentioned having some fun with an alien race in Draconis, but like so much else with the Arilu, they never revealed the whole story. I'm sure there are hundreds more alien races in our galaxy, but beyond what I've told you, your guess is as good as mine.
I'm sure we'll be meeting them or learning more about them eventually. I have sufficient information on
Would
this.
you like information on any other aspect of history?
I'm interested in the war against hierarchy.
What about the war?
How did the war with the Ur-Quan start?
Earth got involved late in the game in 2112 when the Chenjesu arrived in our solar system for the first time. So let's back up a few years to 2098
So we've got about
when the
100 years.
Chenjesu super-sensitive receivers detected a strange signal from the Ophiuchi constellation. Though even the Chenjesu didn't know it, it was the first sign of the Ur-Quan's arrival.
How
the
ominous.
Ur-Quan, having detected the presence of many sentient species, were beaming out an exulting hunting cry. The first direct evidence of the Ur-Quan's intent was the sudden conquest of the Umga, a solitary though not unfriendly species in the Orionis constellation. Chenjesu, distraught by the invasion, were further angered when the Ur-Quan turned their fleets on the hostile but weak Ilrath race. A hastily assembled defense force of Murnaherm and Chenjesu vessels turned the Ur-Quan fleet aside, but the invader moved into Spathi space, rapidly subjugating that race.
Not surprised.
With each new
Well,
conquest, the
Looter is
Ur-Quan
pretty
fleet
good
grew
against the
larger
Ur-Quan
as
ships.
it added slave vessels to its ranks. Earth joined the Chenjesu to form the Alliance of Free Stars at about the same time as the Androsynth stars fell to the Ur-Quan Armada. Before the ink was dry on our agreement with the Chenjesu in 2116, a new race appeared in orbit around the moon and asked for admittance to the Alliance. It was the Arilu Lalile. Timing seemed unusual,
Totally
and the
not gonna be
Arilu
saying
were
that whole thing.
definitely weird, looking like saucer men from Mars, but we were too busy cranking up our mothballed heavy industry that we really didn't pay it much attention at the time.
What happened during the war?
At the start of the war, here on Earth, we were working like crazy, churning out hundreds of heavy cruisers and smaller support vehicles. The Ur-Quan were busy too. Unbeknownst to us, they had moved down towards the Luton Star Group and were attacking the Vux, who only the Yehat knew existed. Our botched first contact with the Vux took place in 2119, and it was the biggest single mistake we made during the war. After defeating the Vux, the Ur-Quan
we'll
fleet
see about
ran
that.
smack into the combined might of the Yehat and Show Fixty, supported by the first wave of our cruisers. Again, the Ur-Quan turned away from the hard spot to attack the weak, though we just thought they were running away. In fact, the Ur-Quan had found another independent alien race, the Mycon, in the Brahi constellation. The Mycon's voluntary submission to the Ur-Quan brought the return of the Ur-Quan fleets, now swollen with 100 devastating Mycon pod ships. The last
come on,
entrance
pod
to the
ships are not
conflict
that
were the
hard
Sirene,
either.
a race of space gypsies who had escaped the hierarchy by moving their vast fleet of slow-moving habitats into human space. With the side set, the last Ur-Quan offensive began.
How did the war end, Commander?
The Ur-Quan came roaring through Vux space and tried to push past the India and Mira star systems. Their onslaught was barely repulsed, and our counterattack made hardly a dent in the hierarchy forces, but we held the line. The Corward front remained intact. Over the following 10 years, there were many great battles between the combined Alliance Starfleet and the Ur-Quan and their hierarchy of battle thralls. Then in 2134, a dramatic shift in the balance of power took place. This must have been about the time the science research mission was sent to the planet of Vela.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Our fleets were
We'll go with
pushed
that.
back from the Indy-Mira line beyond Raynet. Holding Rigel caused grievously in Chenjesu forces, and the Ur-Quan, recognizing this weakness, shifted to focus the brunt of their forces on Procyon. That was the last we heard from the Chenjesu and the Murnaherm. A few weeks later,
That must have really hurt.
waves of ships hit us from all directions. When Ceres Station, our outpost on the asteroid belt, fell to the hierarchy, we knew we were beaten, but we fought on anyway. 3 days later, the Ur-Quan vaporized our last remaining laser forts on the moon, and the dreadnoughts took up geosynchronous position above Rome, Moscow, Beijing, Tokyo, London, Buenos Aires, and Washington. We'd lost the war, and we knew it. But the Ur-Quan decided to make it real clear. And that's why if you check any of our most recent maps, you won't find Buenos Aires.
Well, sorry, people down there in Buenos Aires, you're all dead, or will be in 100 years or so. What happened after the war?
After the UN submitted their formal surrender, we were given a week to decide the nature of our servitude. The Ur-Quan demanded that the decision be made through popular vote. When all the votes were tallied, Earth had chosen not to fight for the Ur-Quan. We had become a
That
fallow
must have been
slave
really
world.
hard to.
We were given a month to
Take care of.
withdraw all of our people and equipment to Earth. Anyone or anything left off planet would be destroyed after the shield went up. Then the Ur-Quan broadcast an odd message. All objects of human construction more than 500 years old were to be abandoned. We didn't know what the Ur-Quan meant until they moved their dreadnoughts into new orbital positions and opened fire on the surface with their fusion weapons. In seconds, large sections of London, Paris, and other European cities were incinerated. At first, we thought they were going to annihilate us after all. And we noticed they were also striking such targets as the Giza Pyramids,
Oh, not the pyramids.
Parthenon in
Bastards.
Athens, and Stonehenge.
Stonehenge! Bastards!
Curiously, the United States was almost untouched. The flaming rain lasted 40 hellish hours. It took days after we crawled from our smoldering shelters to realize what the Ur-Quan had done. Our new masters had targeted every building, monument, or other man-made construction older
could
than
they
500
tell?
years and destroyed it. In those 2 days, we lost most of the history of mankind. In some
We
cases,
have
the
books.
Ur-Quan destroyed places we did not even suspect were significant. From their positions in orbit, the dreadnoughts blew away a kilometer of land in central Iraq, vaporized several targets in the Amazon rainforest, punched a big hole through the Antarctic ice cap to destroy something deep under the surface, and melted a broad swath of the ocean floor in the southeastern Atlantic. Then, just a couple of days later, the shield went up, and our contact with the outside world stopped.
I love those little
The
bits
next
in there.
time I saw the stars was 8 years ago, when I was transferred up here to be the new commander of this starbase.
How old are you, anyway? Thanks, Commander, for the briefing.
Would you like any information on any other aspect of history?
Maybe. Let's see what else. Well, I need some information on ancient galactic history.
We have some data on this subject. What do you want to know about?
Well, anything you can tell me. What can you tell me about the precursors?
Well, you probably know more about them than I do,
Well,
but
that's
here
probably
goes.
true.
About 200,000 years ago, when our great to the nth grandparents were just starting to play with stone knives and bearskins, a star-faring species suddenly appeared on the galactic scene and spread like wildfire. We found evidence of their presence just about everywhere, from an orbital platform on Alpha Centauri to a stack of data plates in a cave on Pluto to some nameless widget found in a voodoo shop in New Orleans.
That's impressive.
We never found a precursor body or even a picture of one. We can conjecture what they look like by examining the scale and layout of their equipment. Such an analysis indicates they were giants, say 5 to 8 meters tall and twice as wide.
That is pretty large.
I don't know if they looked more like a brontosaur or an elephant.
Hey, there's no such thing as
Anyway,
a brontosaur.
about 3,000 years after the precursors made their dramatic appearance, they vanished. Poof. As far as we can tell, it took less than a decade to happen.
What about other races from the ancient past?
You mean besides the precursors? Well, the only information we have is secondhand based on some research by a Chenzesu historian that I read at the academy. Zed-Sert-Sek, the historian, found some evidence that there was a group of alien races who formed an interstellar empire not too far from here about 22,000 years ago. The only species in this empire who actually lived in our region of space was a race of rock-like creatures who lived in the Vulpeculae constellation. The presence of the hostile androsynth in that part of space severely limited Zed-Sert-Sek's research. He never even found out the race's name.
Well, we'll have to see if we figure out anything more about them at some point. Is there any indication that aliens visited Earth in the past? Of course there is.
Yes, there is. Aside from the precursor relics we have found on Earth, often in museums mislabeled as modern art, we've discovered disturbing evidence of much more recent visitation. Perhaps you're already aware that during the mid to late 20th century, there were unaccountable UFO sightings as well as dozens of reported encounters
Curse
with
you,
alien
sectoids!
forms. Although we can discount many of the reports as wishful fabrication or traumatic translation,
Or
the
XCOM.
military authorities of the time kept a secret record of the incidents which were legitimate.
Like XCOM.
In each such case, the aliens are almost identical in appearance. They have white skin and minimal facial features except for huge almond-shaped eyes, which are often described as glowing or luminescent.
knew it
This
was you.
description fits almost perfectly the Arielu Lalile.
Or the sectoids.
In most of the legitimate encounters, the people involved describe being physically examined or modified by the aliens. In some cases, unusual pregnancies occurred, and in almost every instance, there were repeat visitations as though the Arielu Lalile were doing checkups on their subjects. We never got the chance to confront the Arielu Lalile about what they did to us and why. I wonder if we ever will.
Maybe. This is fascinating, but I must move on.
Would you like information on any other aspect of history?
No more history, thank you.
Sure. Anything else?
Let's see. I would like your input on how we can defeat the Ur-Quan.
Can you be more specific?
I could. Where can I find the most useful, plentiful mineral
If you
resources?
have the patience, I would recommend you spend several months or even a year gathering mineral resources. You
may
can find
do that.
such minerals on almost any planet's surface, but the quality and density will vary depending upon the type of planet you're on.
Yep.
Base metals are probably the most common materials you'll find, but they aren't particularly valuable. You can find rarer precious and radioactive elements on metal-rich worlds such as Mercury.
Okay.
An old miner once told me that you could tell the relative quality of a planet's minerals based on the planet's color as seen from space.
Oh, that's interesting.
Remember the color sequence from good to bad? The miner had a mnemonic that went something like, very young orangutan could grow bananas perhaps rather well. It is also the case that mineral yields will be better at hotter stars. Temperature is related to the size and color of a star.
Yep.
Red stars are the coolest, then orange, yellow, green, blue, and the hottest stars are white.
Okay. Sounds racist, man. How should I deal with aliens I meet in space other than blasting them to bits?
Doesn't it, Captain? Well, in all seriousness, if you encounter the Ilrap, Bucks, Androsynth, or other hierarchy battle thralls,
I blast them to
I
stardust.
wouldn't hold out much hope for a peaceful encounter. So if you feel you have the advantage, attack. The resources you will scavenge from the enemy's wreckage are well worth the effort.
Okay.
If you can find alliance races who are in a position to help us, then you must convince them to join with us.
Hey, I don't like being told what to do.
Their assistance may be crucial to our success.
If you were in my shoes, what would you do now, besides put some insoles into them?
Let's see. You need to build up and balance the strength of your flagship. I would add thrusters up to, say, 5 or 6. Speed
Or
is essential in
max it
combat, but it would also pay off over the long haul in hyperspace. And if you prefer to avoid confrontation, nothing beats a great pair of legs.
Well, I'll have
I
to
would
go
add
visit the
turning
Siren
jets
for that, then.
increased maneuverability. I would add enough weapons to defend yourself if you're caught without escort ships. You need more
yeah, that's
crew,
not likely to
at
happen.
least 50 to make productive voyages into space.
Yep.
Your weapons will be underpowered in combat if you don't have at least one dynamo.
Okay.
I guess I'd gather more minerals to build up a good supply of resource units.
All things I plan to do. How can we deal with the Ur-Quan?
Captain, I wish I had an easy answer, but I don't.
So just
The
blow 'em up.
only way I can see of liberating Earth as well as the Alliance allies is to destroy the Ur-Quan and their armada of battle thralls entirely.
Shouldn't be a problem. Commander, do you have any long-range plans to defeat the Ur-Quan
To
hierarchy?
defeat our enemies, we will need awesome strength, both in your flagship and the fleet, as well as the assistance of powerful new allies. Though combat will be unavoidable and sometimes necessary to achieve our goals, I'm certain your wits will be at least as important as your weapons.
So use
You'll need
pew-pew
to
and my
explore
brains.
this
Okay.
region of space, gathering resources and information wherever you go.
How can I find the
I
Ur-Quan?
don't know, Captain, but I suspect their battle thralls know more than we do, so I suggest you try to gather information from them, perhaps by force.
And, of course, they might find us. How can we attack the Ur-Quan most effectively?
At first, your ship will be far too vulnerable to permit frontal assaults on the Ur-Quan. Even when your ship is at full power, we're faced with the reality that the hierarchy has thousands of ships. You cannot win the fight alone, Captain. You need allies.
Hey,
Also,
man,
towards
if
the
I
end of
build
the
up my
war, when
flagship
the hierarchy
enough,
broke through the
think it
Corward
could do
front, we heard rumors that the Ur-Quan had unleashed some kind of super weapon which was unstoppable by normal means. You need to find out if that rumor was true, Captain, because if the Ur-Quan do have such a weapon, we'll have to find some way to stop it or all our efforts are for naught.
Okay. How can I make alliances, and with whom?
If you encounter an unknown alien race, proceed carefully and diplomatically. We need all the friends we can get, and we certainly
don't
can't
insult
afford
them like
any
we did
more
with the
enemies.
Bucks.
Remember, Captain, with your precursor starship, you hold awesome power. But there will be situations when dealing with an alien race where a carrot will serve better than a stick. But first, you must
meet bunny
determine
people?
what carrot the alien wants.
I'm going to meet bunny people. What is the fastest way for us to build up our strength?
You need to accumulate enough resources so we can build up your flagship and assemble a strong fleet. I'd also recommend that you acquire blueprints for other more powerful ships than our trusty cruiser. I suspect that aliens will not give you such prints unless you form an alliance with them.
Yeah, the first time I played this game, back in the days of DOS, I ended up, just completely overpowering. I modified the game files and completely overpowered the human cruiser. Made it a lot faster. Made the homing missiles use significantly less energy, and the point defense lasers use significantly less energy. Oh, it was great. It was great.
What
Let's
else
move
can
on
we
to another
discuss?
topic. I've learned what I need to know about the subject for now.
What else can I tell you?
And we have really... This has been an entire episode. I hope you like talking. I do not require additional
Fine.
information.
Is there anything else you need?
No. Goodbye,
Try
Commander.
to avoid getting gruesomely killed, Captain.
I plan to avoid that. Thank you. Alright, so we can go to the shipyard. So we can buy Earthling Cruisers for 1,100. We cannot build anything else. I don't have enough to make an Earthling Cruiser. That ship looks awfully familiar, doesn't it? I can get crew for 3. And I can have in my fleet up to 12 ships in addition to the flagship. Excuse me again. So that's about it. Let's go ahead and depart the starbase. Now, at this point, what we want to do is scavenge resources from other worlds in our system. Let's go ahead and check out Venus. I don't think there's much worthwhile here. Plus, I'm pretty sure it's extremely hostile. Let's go ahead and scan, auto-scan. So, yeah, there's a lot of really worthless crap. Class 2 tectonics, weather is class 8, and temperature is 457 degrees Celsius. We're not going to go visit Venus. Let's go ahead and navigate. And slowly. I added speed things. Why am I not faster? Dang it. Let's go to Mars up here, which I, of course, missed. I'm pretty bad at this. There we go. Now, I think Mars is pretty good. So let's check it out. Class 2 weather, Class 2 tectonics. It's just base metals, but base metals aren't too bad. Let's go ahead and save our game. And I did not want to actually navigate. There we go. I want to scan again. Auto scan. Alright, that looks like a pretty good place. Visit that one. Some aluminum, bismuth, potassium, aluminum, and potassium. Still have space left, so bismuth. Got a little bit of space left, so let's see what we have up here. 2 bismuth. Alright, so we leave 1 item there. It's probably not really worth going down there again since it takes a single fuel. I don't think I'm going to get 20 worth of resource units from that last item. So let's go ahead and exit. Navigate. And now we want to go visit some of the outer planets, see if we can get some more good stuff from them. I believe that is Saturn. Yep. So let's go ahead and visit Titan. Attack on Titan! What do we have here? Class 3 weather, Class 2 tectonics, and it is very, very cold. That's some good stuff. Go ahead and dispatch. Probably gonna want to dispatch here. Totally missed. So that's weather. Barium, strontium. This is a little bit more weather than I expected. Calcium, strontium. All right, can't get the other item. Now, there is some other good stuff there. Class 3 weather, really? Alright, we'll go ahead and land. We did lose a guy, unfortunately. Some strontium. Good amount of it. Barium. No more lightning. Ow! God damn it. Calcium. Calcium. And that's it. Alright. Get off. Alright. So we've lost 2 people now. 2 more people. Let's go ahead and navigate around. Now, there's nothing we can do with gas giants, but we can go ahead and scan it. Just for the heck of it. Class 8 weather, tectonics none. Auto scan, mineral scan nothing, energy scan nothing, biological scan nothing. Can't dispatch. Atmosphere super thick. Alright, so now we want to see what we can find out here. Alright. Jupiter is probably going to be the next best place to visit. I didn't want to zoom in farther. And we missed Jupiter because of that. Blame you, game. Blame you. Alright, so we've got some moons here. We'll go ahead and visit them. This is Europa, so there is some very good stuff on Europa, it looks like. Actually, it might be level 2 items. I don't know. Yeah, I think those are level 2. Guess we'll find out. Astatine. Astatine. Bromine. Astatine. God dang it. Get back here. Bromine, and let's get off. Now I can probably get 20 worth out of this still, so... And there's not much in the way of tectonics or... and there's no weather, so we're good in that regard. And it's a cold world, so there's no fire. More bromine. Yeah, I don't think these are radioactives. I think these are like caustics, I think that's what it was. Yeah. Exit menu, manifest, cargo. Yeah, I got 41 corrosives, not caustics. There's base metals. Haven't found any noble gases, rare earths. We do have some radioactives, quite a bit, actually. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not sure which is which. It's very hard to tell the difference between the two, which is a little annoying for me. Navigate, and now let's go ahead and head to Io, I think. Go ahead and scan, auto-scan. Class 4 tectonics. This is going to be kind of nasty. Not going to want to dispatch just yet. I'm going to go ahead and save it. We'll go land right here. I think there's going to be fires. Francium. Thorium. I think these are radioactives. Astatine. Ah, okay, so those were radioactives on Europa. Radium. Maybe. Nope. Maxed. Alright, though there is still a lot of really good stuff on there. Oh no, it's very cold. I would have expected it to be a lot warmer. Class 4 tectonics, though. I mean, there are actual volcanoes on... Alright, Francium. Stay away from the earthquakes. Oh god, that was stupid. And leaving was kind of stupid too. Oh well, we'll pick up some more crew members. Alright, seriously? Missing it? Okay. That's it. manifest cargo. So we're up to 181 radioactives. Very valuable. Did lose a bunch of crew members, though. Not so good at flying the ships. Let's see, what do we have here? This is gonna be Ganymede, I think. Yep. Auto scan. That looks like the worthless stuff, the level 1 stuff. So let's not bother. Probably not worth spending the one the 1 point of fuel to get down there. Scan. Oh, there is nothing on Callisto at all. Wow. That sucks to be you, Callisto. Alright, what we want to do now is visit Neptune and Uranus and see if there's anything at either of those. I don't know if they've put any... Well, Neptune should have a moon. I don't know if... Yes, there we go. I don't know that Uranus will have any moons. Alright, anything good on Triton? Some stuff. Class 1 tectonics, Class 2 weather. Oops. There's some base metals. So we should be able to get 20... maybe not. That's only 3 there. 3 potassium. Oh. Might not pay for itself. Well, no, it'll pay for itself, just barely. 4 arsenic. Okay. So barely paid for itself. Yeah, I don't think that Uranus is going to have anything. We don't want to go to Pluto just yet, not in this episode. It will be in next episode. Where is... Oh, there's Uranus, the green one. No! There we go. Yep, nothing here. Alright, we'll head back to Earth. Unfortunately, time is passing. We wasted a little bit of time here. Oops, wrong way. Actually, was there anything else on the moon that I missed? Two bits of metal. Wonder if that'll be worthwhile. Yeah, probably. Guess we'll find out. 3 iron. 8 calcium. Alright, I think it was barely worth it. But it was right here, so might as well. Alright, we'll go ahead and offload and see if we can get any more modules.
Welcome back, Captain. Before we go on, I have something important to tell you.
Okay.
Our deep space monitoring team has detected faint alien signals coming from Uranus or somewhere in that general direction.
Oh.
The emanations are definitely being generated from within the solar system and could represent the presence of a hierarchy spy.
Alright, well, I'll have to go investigate that. Oh, it says you can repeat it, but you can also hit escape and see the text there. I am going to go ahead and offload some minerals. Let's see, what do we get?
Not a bad job,
nice.
Captain.
Thank you.
Try to avoid getting gruesomely killed, Captain.
I'll do my best. And outfit Starship. Alright, now what we might want to do is... get a crew pod, get a storage bay. And do I want to get a fuel tank? Probably not yet. Let's see about some more thrusters. Guess I'll get another thruster. Alright. We're good on fuel for now. We'll go ahead and end the episode here, and in the next one, we will go ahead and head to the signal in the direction of Uranus, which we were just at, so we know it's not there. See you next time.